What's up, fuck boys? Week 9 recap, and we are in upset city. Population 5 of the 6 top teams going down this week. It was incredible. We had a game go down to your game actually went down to Monday. We had a couple games go down to Sunday night. Um, Super exciting. I lost to Luke, which I'm okay with this week. I'm fine with this week, only because everyone else and their grandmother went down too.
Are you
Now,
sure you're fine with that? Let's.
no, absolutely not.
You sure you're fine with
Like,
that?
I'm trying to hold it together, and it's like just about to fucking blow out of my ears. But no, I'm not okay. I'm not. I'm not fine.
Yeah, no,
Nobody.
and then
Nobody's fine to losing it to a team called Legion of fucking Butts. Now it's
but
Butts.
yeah,
Butts.
yeah, he subtly just kind of changed that from bust to butts.
Yeah,
Very, very
he just
slyly. It's
jumbled up the letters a little bit. I don't like it's too much for him. He can't change too much at one time because his brain just doesn't have the capacity to do that. So he just jumbles the letters around, maybe adds a T or an S or something, and then that's what he gets. He's a very simple kind of man, and I respect it. I'm okay with it. He just
yeah. My
it's
first
just the way
reaction
it
was,
is.
it was kind of like one of those sneaky things, like when you're doing like anal with a girl, like you just. When you come from behind
Yeah.
and then you think she thinks you're gonna stick it in the right place, but you stick it from behind.
And it's like, whoop, and then she just kind of rolls with it. It just keeps going.
That's the good ones. That's the good ones.
Yeah, those keepers,
Those are the
Bobby,
keepers right there.
Bobby knows. Bobby knows. He's the anal expert.
Bobby
Um,
knows.
yeah, he does. Okay. I kind of self-dubbed you and Jerv's matchup the matchup of the week. It was the only one that went down to Monday. I mean, come on, Harris was one touchdown away
One
from
touchdown.
from just the 6-6 upset. You dropped the ball, man. We almost had the top 6 teams completely upset. You had to. All we needed was Damian Harris to get a touchdown run, and against the Jets.
I know.
Speaking of which, Patriots need some. Is it panic time? Is it panic time?
Well, they won, so I mean, at least they did that with the
It's the
Jets.
Jets.
Yeah, but I mean, Cam Newton didn't actually play that too bad.
I saw he
But
put up
it's
decent numbers, but that's just because Myers is a beast.
Yeah, well, he formed that connection with Myers, which was great. It really shot up Myers' value, and especially in fantasy. You could tell that just whenever they're a lot of times receivers go off and they have a big game, but it was just because it was like the matchup. But sometimes you can tell like a receiver goes off and it's like the chemistry he creates with the quarterback, and you can kind of tell that was the case in this. Like
Was
Myers
it?
and Myers and Newton were just on the same page this whole game. So
Were
like
they?
I really kind of thought of him as quite a you know asset moving forward. But
Well, he
as we'll see, someone already took advantage of his trade value being sky high. So, but we'll go on that a little bit more with the trade analysis.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I didn't have too much news from the NFL this week except the Saints are back, boys.
Oh, beat down.
Bro, that was an embarrassment on national TV, man.
Dude,
That was just a beatdown. I was
if
I myself was shocked. I looked at the score and I was just like, is this real life?
No, it was insane. Absolutely insane. You could just tell that not only Drew Brees wanted the touchdown record, the Saints defense wanted them to have the touchdown record. They were going to do anything at all costs to stop Tom Brady. Like it just was. They get up. If there's one thing I love about the Saints is that they will get up for a top NFC matchup every single time. They will
Yep.
get up for it. So even whether it's at the
Especially
dome or just anywhere, they get up for. Especially if it's Falcons that are top of the league at the time. It's going to be a throwdown.
yeah, they had the ultimate there because not only was it an NFC showdown, it was an NFC South showdown,
Oh
and it
yeah.
was against Brady, and they love when Breeze gets the records. So it was just all this giant cocktail of we got to play well. And
Yeah.
if the Saints show up like that every single game, they're the best team in the NFC, hands down. Like, I mean, I like Seattle, but God, their defense is atrocious. Like,
It's so
you
bad.
just
It really
you
reminds me of the Saints of old. You know,
oh yeah,
they
dude,
could throw
we
the ball
couldn't
all over the
buy
place, but they could not stop anybody for the life of them. So
they
Seattle, we know your pain.
yeah, you couldn't buy a damn cornerback. Um, Dave got a win.
They've got to win.
He's not so angry
Actually,
right now.
I mean, one of my notes right here is this race is tight. I mean, with all the upsets that we just had, this race is tight. Let me just tell you this right now. Not at this point of the season, it is rare that we find that there is a 3-game gap between last place and first place. Not the playoffs. Not the playoffs. This is first place. So
First place.
if I have any advice for anybody, like this is wide open. Like
Is
I have the worst record, but I'm 10th in the league. But I really still feel confident. I'm still in the mix.
you don't feel like you don't feel like you're 10th. You don't feel like
No,
you have the worst team, the worst
no.
record in the league. Like, yeah, it just doesn't seem that way. And like, let's think about it. Think about it. Like the teams that are 4-5, they're literally one game away from like next week. If they win, they'll be 5-5. If a 6-3 team loses, boom, they're one game out of first place. Like,
Oh yeah.
you're absolutely right. It's wide the fuck open. This is beautiful. I love it. Actually,
I love it too. I mean,
I'm happier that this was upset city week because it just makes the league that much more interesting. Like everybody's all in now. You can't nobody can back out.
no. I mean, at this point, there's usually somebody, which we thought it was going to be Luke this year, that was just going to completely be wiped off the face of the earth. But props to Luke. I'll give him props
Props
on
to
this
Luke.
one. We'll say something nice. This will be something nice. But I mean, he has
Oh, I'm
fought
not
himself
saying
back in. Nope.
I'm
Okay.
not
Well,
saying anything
I'll
nice
bring
about
him
him
up.
anymore.
You put him down. We'll go good cop, bad cop.
Good. I
And
like it. We'll fuck with his head. Well, there's not really much left in there, but what's left. We'll
you're off to a good
eradicate that.
start.
Yes, we'll
So,
eradicate that.
but I mean, he's fought himself back. He's at a 3-6 record right now. I mean, so it's it's what you want to see in fantasy. It really
Yes,
is.
it is.
I mean,
You are
everybody's
absolutely
engaged.
right.
They're still at this point of the season. No one feels like they. I'm just gonna make the consolations. Like it's like everybody's in the playoff run. This
Yeah,
is big.
dude, I love it. Everybody's setting their lineups. Everybody's passionate in the group chats. I love it. I honestly kind of like when people get you can get going on the group chat because that's when you figure out where people stand. I can tweak some things. I can see what's going on maybe for next year. But yeah, it's awesome. Let's see. I wanted to address the IR spots. For the people that were upset, it's okay. The reason I picked 3 IR spots was because I thought we were going to have a bigger issue with COVID. The Yahoo Sports app did not allow me to specify whether you can put somebody who's on IR or out or something like that. Also, whenever you have 3 people on IR and you put in someone like Des Bryant, it's a gap filler. You're really not putting in. It's really not giving you too much of an advantage because the guys you're pulling in are not very good. So it's basically you're just filling a spot on your bench. Obviously, in a normal league in a normal year, we would not have 3 IR spots. It's ridiculous. I understand that. But I just wanted to announce that and make sure everybody understood that the reason there is 3 IR spots was because I thought COVID would be a bigger deal. And it still could be a bigger deal because the numbers are still on the rise. Hell, half of college football is delayed, which I'm not complaining about because I just delays the inevitable beatdown by Bama we're going to have. So I'm not worried about it. So I just wanted to make that announcement. One thing I saw, okay, so I ran the numbers. The kickers this week, yeah, this is a big uh-oh. The kickers scored an average of 9 points, okay? The running back 2 position, and now by running back 2, I mean the running back on everybody's team that scored the second most points. So not the running back with the top score, the running back with the second top score. They averaged 6.2 points this week on all teams. I think we need to get rid of the running back 2 position and put in a kicker 2 position.
Ooh,
because
man,
I don't know. The kickers are scoring more points than the running backs, and the tight end position might have been worse. The only person the only player in the tight end position who is worth anything is Travis Kelce, and everyone else is just like hit or miss, and the hits are like maybe 10 points. So I don't know. 3 kicker spots. I'm all in for kickers, dude. Like
3 kickers. Wow.
Yeah.
Dude.
Let's go. Let's just fuck it all up.
I'll tell you what, if that becomes the case, Young Ho Koo is going to be number 1. How did James know? I just don't know. I don't know.
He drafted 2 of them, so he had a bigger selection to pick from. Okay, so on a little more serious notes, players who had hot starts are starting to cool down. This is just all across the league. I kind of noticed it's not anything like super important, but people down the stretch, you got to start playing the matchups.
Yeah. Well, and that's because now with, they didn't have much of an off season, which really puts a disadvantage at the defense.
Yeah.
So now that defenses are coming back around and being able to prepare for what the offenses are throwing at them, you'll notice that it's going to be a decline on fantasy points. Yep. So you're absolutely right. Now the matchups for the are going to be more, since they have more data, it's going to be more accurate. So you're going to figure out exactly, who the better defenses are and what the better matchups are. So So definitely look into the numbers now. Definitely, they're going to probably play more into an accurate favor than they were at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I agree. A couple of accolades, and then we'll get to your trade analysis. Bobby got High Point 2 weeks in a row. This motherfucker is on a tear, dude. He's gotten like an average of 135 to 140 points in each of the last 2 weeks. Good job, Bobby. His team's firing on all cylinders right now.
Bobby's been on a roll, and we'll get into more details on that later.
Right.
But he has been on a roll.
So he got High Point this week. You got Unlucky Award, the very unlucky award.
Very unlucky award.
You have the worst record in the league with the most points for.
Yes, I'm tied for the worst record, but I also have the most points.
Most points, yeah.
So it's actually, I looked, and Yahoo has a little standings projection. It has me winning all the rest of my games. They're like, we don't know how you are doing so bad, but like you're supposed to win the rest of your games, dude.
You broke the Yahoo app.
I broke the Yahoo app. Good Lord, can't believe this season.
All right, let's get to your trade analysis, and then we can get to the matchups. But first, before you do that, we added a new segment at the end of each matchup. What we're going to do is we're going to give our my not so expert advice on what we think, just like a little tidbit on what we think each team should do, or each team should drop, trade, blah blah blah. Just a little bit of advice at the end. Joe and I will both give you that. Take it or leave it. Joe's advice is going to be 100 times worth more than mine, but blind nut finds a squirrel every now and then.
Yeah, I thought we were doing this seriously. I thought, so what, you just did a joke on all of them?
No. I'm just being real. I'm
trying
being
to ramp
realistic.
up your stand-up career. Okay, I get it.
I'm being realistic in that my advice is going to be, you do the opposite of what I say and you do what Joe says. That's pretty much what my stand-up career. No, anyways. Trade analysis time. My favorite.
All right.
Here we go. Some trade analysis.
Well, we actually have one that's kind of pending this week, and I don't see it being declined. So I'm just going to go with the trade analysis for it.
Do it. It's the Legion of Butts and.
Yeah, Legion of Butts with Over the Hill. So, and then there's actually two more that actually I skipped upon the last couple times just for time restraints. So I'm going to actually revert back to those a little bit, give us a couple more to go over.
Yep.
But let's see real quick. First one we'll do is going to be this week. And that's, of course, Over the Hill acquires Jacoby Myers, and Legion of Butts acquires Devin Singletary. Now, like we were talking about earlier, Myers just went off this week. Had a great week. I mean, 12 receptions. I mean, that's what you want to see, regardless of the amount of yards he gets.
That's 6 points. That's 6 points, right? That's a touchdown right there.
A touchdown right there. So the amount of yardage and attention that he got was perfect. You just saw the chemistry with Cam Newton. Thought it was great. I thought it was great to sell him high. I just think his value was a little bit better, to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought his value was a little bit better than a Devin Singletary, who, and I really liked last year. Just noticed that they decided to go a little different direction in the offseason, start picking up Zach Moss. So that really shows that there's other things behind the scenes that just weren't happening well in his development.
But he's small though, right? He's pretty.
He's
small.
He's a little bit of a smaller guy. He went to small college, small guy, just kind of all.
He's small all around. He probably got a small dick.
All around small. What? Oh, and yeah. Okay. All right. And well, so the Jacoby Myers, I had to give Over the Hill a B+. I thought, it was a pretty good pickup. It's with the waiver wire kind of dwindling out at this point of the season, you're gonna have to trade. It's just that's how it is. It's gonna be, even if it's like small trades like this where these are both bench players. If you want to pick somebody else up, I thought it was good. I thought it was good value.
Yeah, when you got Troy Maine Pope as the number one on the transaction trends, yeah, that's when the waiver is depleted.
It is depleted. Yeah.
Scarce.
At this point, you just kind of should initiate some more trades.
How awesome is that name though? Troy Maine Pope.
Troy Maine Pope.
Troy Maine Pope. I love that name. That's a great name. Troy Maine Pope. I like saying that.
Penitentiary.
Nice. All right, continue.
Okay.
I definitely agree. I think he did a great job selling Myers when he did, because value is through the roof right now. Yes. Luke, what were you looking at here? Did you see Devin Singletary's numbers? Like, what?
Yeah. I had to get. I really wanted to give him a C+. I ended up giving him a B-.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew. No, give him an F.
That just because he is still in the mix. So there always is potential with a 7-2 team that's good for that's rolling well. That's
True.
good in the playoffs.
True.
It still is
7-2. Holy shit, dude! The AFC East just kind of flipped. It's like really Miami's good now.
Miami's good. Bills are good. New
Patriots
England
suck.
And I guess the Jets have always sucked. So.
The Jets will be the Jets. R.I.P. and peace, Dan Valente. Yeah, the Jets suck.
Yeah. No, I saw the meme. It was the friends meme of Joey where he's like all chill and everything, and then the second one he's like wise open, and it was like it was like Lawrence's reaction whenever they go 0-16 and he opts back in to college football, and then,
he's definitely coming back.
Then his reaction, the second reaction, whenever he opts or when they go 0-16 again next year, like. So, but all right, let's move on. Honestly, probably more accurate. It would probably be a C+. Looking at it, but it's just I thought he could have got a little bit more value out of it.
Oh yeah, he definitely could have got. I would have given him an F.
Yeah,
I'll still give him an F.
So yeah, but I think you did the right move in trading him, just didn't get the right guy.
Gotcha. What's your next one?
All right, the next one, Fuck Yahoo acquires Mari Cooper and Devontae Freeman, and Over the Hill acquires Kenny Galladay. So this was done back in October 27th. So, when you're doing a trade analysis, you usually do it on the day it's been happening. So I've got the numbers that were posted up at that time and kind of the quarterback situation.
I like that trade, actually.
Yeah, it's not bad, but I mean, I know Amari Cooper's value is going like up, down, throughout this time. Like, when Dak was around, it was when Dak Dak wasn't around at this point, but when Dalton was around, his value actually wasn't bad because Dalton likes to throw to a number one receiver, and Amari Cooper was a beneficiary for that.
Right. I mean, even now, hindsight. I mean, well, not hindsight, but even now, Gilbert's a serviceable quarterback.
Well, that's what I was going to say. DiNucci really put them down. It put his value down. Like DiNucci, not Gucci, just didn't do so hot. So, but now Gilbert actually brings his value back up, and now it was really hard to tell who he was developing a chemistry with, but the fact that he was just slinging the ball around is very promising for
very good
Cowboy owners.
And the fact that like they hung around with the Steelers, even though the Steelers are notorious for playing down to their competition. Yeah. I don't take anything. It's like that one for the Steelers, and that one's the same thing for the Bucs. You just throw the tape out, don't look at it, just move on.
Yeah. Well, that's not going to be an indicator. That's not like an accurate indicator of how the Cowboys are going to be. Like they're going to be good for the rest of the season. But,
or same with the Steelers. They're not going to be bad.
They're not going to be bad for the rest of the season.
They're good.
But one thing I just was pointing out is just Cowboy fantasy players now are going to be back in relevancy. It's good. It's just good to see that. I mean, now that that's happened, Mark Cooper's going to have some value. Gallup's going to have some value. Yeah, I think Gallup had the most amount of points out of all the receivers. CeeDee Lamb had a touchdown. So Schultz had some points, and then that's going to open up the things for Ezekiel Elliott as well. So Elliott's value even goes up a little bit, even though I think he's just lost a step, but he
can get it back. He just needs to lose some weight and get focused again.
Yeah, but if the offense is moving the ball, he's going to get some goal line touches. So
yep.
That's going to open up his game a little bit more so too. So getting off topic, but so at the time, Amari Cooper had an average 14 points. Devontae Freeman had an average of 7.8, almost 8 points. I mean, Devontae Freeman, the only knock on him is he's hurt. I gave Fuck Yahoo a B- on this, solely on the purpose of I didn't think that was the route to go for a team that was kind of more in the bottom of the standings. If you have a little security of like quite a few wins, you can kind of spread out your team and get more players and see if and you have that higher, you can accept that higher risk of like, all of them not doing so good or, some of them doing pretty good.
That might've been an emotional trade.
So, yeah. And then I thought I gave Kenny Galladay, over the Hills acquisition, A-. I thought it was a really good trade. You throw two guys that are all right to and receive a number one wide receiver on his team.
Yeah.
To a quarterback who's been throwing to him, throughout the years, so it hasn't changed. So yeah, I thought that was a good pickup by Over the Hill. The trade Fuck Yahoo's players that it's starting to come around, and if Devontae Freeman does come around, it could turn out to be a good trade. But
I was gonna wait till
the injury with Freeman, and then
I was gonna wait till the matchup. But if Dave's team fires on all cylinders, he's got a good team. He can make a run.
He's been making some moves. He's been making quite a bit of moves, which is what you got to do to get yourself into it.
Luke's been making moves. Like teams at the bottom of the league have been making moves, and guess what? You saw it. Upset City, baby. 5 of the 6 teams. 5 of the 6 teams won.
Yeah.
Like the top teams, like myself, Luther, James. They're starting to slow down. They had hot starts. They're starting to cool off. We are all starting to cool off, and
Yep.
now you see teams like Bobby, teams like Jerv making moves. They're coming up, and it's any given Sunday. You can literally win any given Sunday. So
Any given Sunday.
keep that in mind. One more. Let's do one more trade. Do you have one more trade?
Yeah, I got one more trade analysis.
Let's do one more trade and then move on to the matchups.
And I'll do this one pretty quick. So we got now Luke's daddy. Luke's daddy, which we'll get more into that. And more did a trade with more cowbell. So Luke's daddy acquires Latavius Murray, Alexander Madison, and more cowbell acquires Devontae Parker.
Wait, repeat that.
So Luke's daddy acquired Latavius Murray and Alexander Madison.
Okay.
And more cowbell acquired Devontae Parker.
When was this?
This was that was about the same time period as the last trade was, too.
Okay.
It was about, I want to say the 26th, 27th of October. So,
Gotcha.
but still, it's still kind of like really, it still is kind of the same as what it was before. The only thing is Parker's value probably even gotten better. But I didn't really like this for Luke's daddy. I mean, basically, you just get two handcuffed running backs. I mean, I get it. You needed some running backs, but now you're just playing if Kamara and Dalvin Cook gets hurt. Which
True,
I mean, in the case
true.
of Luke's daddy, he does have Dalvin Cook, so that's insurance. So that does help him out a little bit. But at the same time, I mean, that's just you got two bench spots for people that don't really have a lot of potential. I mean, those are solid starters in front of them. So you're just depending on.
Well, Dalvin Cook has injury issues, so I kind of agree with the Madison.
Well,
one.
yeah, he's got Dalvin Cook, so that's good.
And also, Dalvin Cook is like a 30, like literally 35-40% of his team.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
That's a whole nother thing.
We'll talk about that later, but
yeah,
shit.
So, but then Devontae Parker. The big thing with Devontae Parker is at the time of the trade, Fitzpatrick was still in control, which Devontae Parker and Fitzpatrick has a very good connection. I know last year I actually benefited from Devontae Parker quite a bit. So the fact that Tua came in really kind of put a little bit of diminish to his value.
Mm-hmm.
But now that Preston Williams is out, it actually puts it back up again. So he's going to be a play. That's why I think his value actually went a lot better after this trade. So,
right.
I mean, I would definitely say that more cowbell I would say won this trade because it's a high risk, just handcuffing running backs.
I agree.
You don't know if they're going to, and like Kamara's like healthy. Like last year he was hurt.
He's healthy.
He's healthy this year. Like, not to say he can't get hurt.
Anyone can get hurt.
Anybody can get hurt.
Don't say that. Don't you
I'm
say
not
that.
putting that juju on him. I'm not putting that juju on him. Knock on wood. Throw the salt. All of that. Spin around. All right. But yeah. So I gave Luke's daddy C+. I mean, it's only if it's gonna really. Only if it's really going to work out, or only if it's something, somebody gets hurt, where that's going to be a good trade.
I agree. I like that analysis, actually. That's been one of my favorite analysis you've done.
Yeah.
I like it.
Devontae Parker, B+. Good value.
Good, yeah. I like Devontae Parker.
Yeah, good wide receiver. I mean, even with Fitzpatrick, it was good connection. With Tua, maybe not so much, but now that Preston Williams out, it's going to be skyrocketing. So
okay,
that wraps things up on my end.
Cool. We got a couple. I got a couple of things. I forgot to announce. Swamp Jim got bench warmer award. He had over 70 points on his bench. So that sucks because I think he would have won if he had switched one player or something. Real quick announcement: the trade deadline is November 21st. I put that in the group chat, but in case you're watching this and not the group chat, which some days I understand. Trade deadline is November 21st. So make sure you get your trades in. What do you think about extending the trade deadline? Because I love these trades.
Well, you just, I mean, the way the league is going right now, the reason why we do trade deadline is to prevent collusion,
True.
especially towards the end of the league. But that's because usually somebody's like losing and they're just like, all right, I'm out of it anyways. I'm just going to give you my best players. But we also do have like a committee, a vote committee. So we do know when there's, we can block trades that we don't want,
Right.
that we really do think is not going to be a
And
fair.
I think if it was, I think you're right. I think if it was a little more lopsided, like if there was way more people like just dominating the league and like a few people who just suck and didn't set their lineups, then it would be different. But because everybody is still in it and everybody's still setting their lineups and everybody's still taking it seriously, I think we can move the deadline back.
Yeah.
I will.
And since we have a vote as well.
Right. So I'll throw that out there. I think because Yahoo will allow me to push it back 1 week, so I can push it back till November 28th if that's what people want. Because I kind of want to. I like this little trade analysis thing. I like the trades. The trades are fun to me. So
And if the
kinda
waiver
wanna push it
wire is
back.
going to be depleted at this point,
Yeah.
that's going to
Yep.
be your best method of, improving your team and making some moves.
Okay. I love it. All right, bud. Let's get to the matchups because we talk too much as it is.
Yeah.
So let's try and roll through these real quick. We'll start off with mine. I really honestly the only reason why I start off with mine is because when I look at my computer, they have the list of matchups and mine's sitting right there at the top. So
Yeah, I was wondering if you knew that.
yeah, no, it happens every week. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm gonna do me first or whatever like that. No, that's just how it ends up. Okay. So sue me. I don't care. Okay.
You're so defensive. It's just like
Yes.
I think that's what happens with commissioners. You see Bobby now. Bobby's
No.
really relaxed. He's like so relaxed now. Like I don't know. He
Because
maybe went through some like therapy stuff like with himself or something. But he's like so relaxed. It's like a presidency. Like you've seen George W. Bush. George W. Bush looks like he doesn't have a single care in the world anymore. But when he was in the presidency, it was just like intense. That's the same thing I view the commission.
Well, because it's a thankless job. It's a thankless job. Any which way you turn, you did. It's okay. I do this for you. I do this for y'all, and I'm okay with it because I love this shit. Actually, I kind of love being a commissioner. But anyways,
I'll make it a 2021. All right. Anyways, that's it.
Vigio. I don't want to talk about. Can we skip mine? Vigio Morgenstein.
Hey, you wanted it first, man.
Vigio Morgenstein versus Legion of Butts. I think he changed his name to Legion of Butts because Bobby changed his name to Luke's daddy, so he just wanted to give him all the butts.
Give him all the butts.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's gonna be an intense matchup next week.
Luke, get ready because this is the last time I will ever be nice to you. I am done being nice to you. You beat me. Congratulations. Boom. That's all you're getting. That's it. I mean, Joe, statistically speaking, if you just look at the yards, he had 3 of the top 5 wide receivers on his team. And that's saying a lot because you got Bobby and you have Jerv, who all have explosive wide receivers.
Wide receivers.
Just studs.
Yep.
And Luke had 3 of the top 5 when it comes to yardage.
Yeah. No, quite a performance. Quite a performance on the wide receiver end. And honestly, I would have to say this. He took a lot of advice from previous Josh owned teams, and you can chalk it up to a taste of your own medicine. And when you think that trade that you did earlier, Kelsey, get any worse? But
oh man,
anyways,
I love it. That's funny. That's funny.
I have quite a bit of puns this time around. It's gonna be a punny time.
Good deal. I love puns. Puns and dad jokes are my favorite, man. I laugh at them every single time.
Every single
Every
time.
time. I
Yeah.
love it.
Are
Yeah.
we getting old?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
we're getting
We're
old.
dads without kids, dude.
We're dads.
Honestly, dude, the way I look at it, I became a dad before I even had kids because I had to take care of, you and four little sisters. So yeah, the oldest kid's a little angry most of the time because we had to take care of kids we didn't want. See?
Yeah,
See?
I don't know about all that life because I kind of just kept the back seat on that one.
You did. I was the one changing Lizzie's diapers. Anyways, we keep getting thrown off, but Greg the leg went off.
Greg the leg. I mean,
Go Kickers, baby. Fucking Kickers, man.
well, we knew Greg the leg was gonna keep taking advantage of this horrible quarterback situation, but I mean, honestly, I think he's still going to get points, but he might only get like singles now. He might only just get extra points now with this offense the way it's going. But I mean, he's still a great play. It's still a great play. Greg the leg. It's just
Dude, kickers in general, man. Look at that. Like our kickers average 13 and a half points. I never got screwed so hard by a trade than with Kelsey. That was like, here's the thing. I love Julio Jones. I'm okay with the trade. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not going back on it because Julio's a beast too. But man, it is impossible to find a consistent tight end.
There's no tight ends in this league right
There's
now.
none. Like we can
Nope.
get. I think we should just do away with the tight end position altogether and put another kicker in. Like, I don't know, man. It's so. But here's the thing.
I think
Like,
there's going to be a instant exodus by I'm Ryan Dynasty's team owner Chris if that was to happen.
Chris's mind would just like his brains would be all over the fucking wall. He wouldn't know what to do with himself.
Wouldn't know what to do with himself. Jeez, and Pete. 2 kickers? Golly.
2 kickers. Okay. Well, I had a couple of actual serious notes. I think Tampa's starting to shift the workload from Ronald Jones II to Fournette. So
Yes.
I'm
it's
excited
definitely
about I'm excited about that. Luke should not be excited about that. So fuck yourself. Here, I'll trade you Fournette. Psych. That bitch is staying on my bench and my team for the rest of my life because I'm always gonna draft him way too high.
It wouldn't be fantasy if Josh didn't have Fournette.
Yeah, exactly right.
He has to have Fournette, and he's got to have some sort of LSU player. This year is Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson, yeah. Actually, an LSU rookie. Usually, I like drafting like 3 or 4 solid rookies early.
Yeah, way too early.
Yeah, way too early. That's been my go-to. And then I have him sit on my bench. Now, hey, J.K. Dobbins is paying dividends. I invested in him early, kept investing. I think he's about to start paying dividends. Justin Jefferson's been working out for me. I didn't have a bad week, dude. I didn't have a bad week. I've been scoring over 100 points, like on a week in, week out basis. I started off slow, but I've been doing okay. I'm not hitting the panic button by any means, even though I did just lose to a team called Legion of Butts. But I wish I had Kelsey, but I love Josh Jacobs and Julio.
Yeah, no, I've actually when I look at your team, the one thing that kind of sticks out with me. It's good. It's a good team, but I think you're going to be a ride or die with Henry. I think that's going to be a really determining factor on week in and week out on how your performance does. Because I think that's what really kind of killed you. I mean, besides the fact that he had quite a few people to go off. Jacoby Myers, DJ Chark, just
that's what I'm saying. He had
ridiculous
3 of
numbers.
the top 5 receivers in yards.
Yeah.
Also, like my team didn't do too bad. I had Derrick Henry. Here's the thing. Chicago, the Bears are not a great team only because their offense is atrocious. Matt Nagy cannot call plays to save his life. They are so bad. But But on the opposite end, the reason why they're 5-3 is because that defense is nasty. And that's what Derrick Henry ran into this past weekend. The Chicago Bears defense is gnarly.
Oh yeah.
So
we remember what was it 2 years ago when they traded for Mac?
Khalil Mack, yeah.
Yeah, I mean
They were already good.
Yeah,
Already good.
they still got loaded players from that defense. So they've been good defense for the last quite a few years. It's just the offense hadn't came around. So yeah, no, you're just gonna have a tough matchup with that. And most of the time, bad offensive teams usually don't have a bad defense. I mean, Denver's like a terrible team, but like their defense like actually holds people
not bad
quite a few times. And then the Dolphins as well. I mean, Dolphins are not a great team, not bad team actually, but their defense playing lights out. So
yeah. Anyways, well, congratulations, Luke. You beat me. Zeke still sucks, but I think he's going to get better. I might want to trade for him. Ooh, Fournette for Zeke.
Ooh,
maybe.
Intense.
Okay.
But yeah, one thing I did notice that you decided to do, and I was proud that you decided to go against your hometown Saints, but it came back to haunt you really bad. But playing Tampa Bay's defense against the Saints,
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, well,
I'm completely fine with it. I saw that
fan.
Like, because here's the thing, it could have gone differently. Like, I could have at least put up a fight because I was down by 30 points, and if Jared Cook got me 15 and Tampa got me 15, I would have been right back in it. But that Saints beatdown, worth the loss, worth it. I would rather my fantasy loss, and that Saints beatdown any day of the week. Okay, wrap things up. My advice for Luke is to trade one of your 2 billion wide receivers for a running back. You are very thin, very thin at running back. I would also start thinking a new defense. Green Bay is the most up and down team of the NFL. And my advice for myself is, as much as I want to bench Cook and go somewhere else, I should keep Jared Cook in my starting lineup. That's my advice.
Idea.
I don't know, man.
Why are you giving advice for yourself? You're just gonna listen to yourself because it's yourself, and then you're gonna and then it's gonna just treat you wrong.
I was gonna see what you said and go off of that. So bench Jared Cook, right?
Yeah, I mean, Cook's gonna be tough now that Thomas is back in the lineup, and honestly, really, I don't know if we can just chalk it up to a bad game, or if he's just going to be falling off the line a little bit. But, I mean, I really kind of found that Hill and that new rookie tight end, Adam Troutman, really kind of outplayed him this last game. So that's really bad to see, but that might just be a slump, one-game slump. That always happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, but I do think he's kind of out the door, and if that kind of continues.
Don't say that. God damn it, Joe. Whatever. Yeah. All right, you're probably right.
Well, but my advice to you was kind of just play the waiver for wide receiver depth, because I think your team's good and fine with receivers, but I think you just need to get a couple more things to get just a couple more players to get some depth on the receiver end.
So you don't like Jamison Crowder, AJ Green, Julio Jones?
Jamison Crowder's only going to be dependent on if he's healthy and if Sam Darnold's healthy.
Keenan Allen, Julio Jones.
No, Julio Jones is good. Allen is great too. But I mean, when I look down and I see you got 4 running backs. I don't think AJ Green's going to be much of an answer. I think you can kind of trade him.
Well, I don't know. Burrow's starting to throw the ball around. So
he is, but is he throwing to AJ Green?
I don't know. They had a bye this week, so we'll see next week. He had 12 points the week before, so yeah, you might be right. I might need to do that. I've been literally sitting on those 4 running backs for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the like I said, it's not anything like starters. Like you don't have like any pressing needs. It's just going to be like depth,
Yeah.
just somebody that you can throw in for some like for good matchups.
Yeah. So what's your advice for Luke?
Well, Luke was kind of the same way. I saw that glaring need at running back.
Oh yeah.
And
He is.
and honestly, you could kind of go with a little bit more of a quantity thing. But, I mean, I look at his bench and it's 5 wide receivers, no running backs on the bench. And did he start? He didn't even start a running back in his flex. So I mean, you're basically stuck with Ronald Jones and Ezekiel Elliott for the rest of the season. I mean, you got to throw some mix in. I wouldn't say you have to go for a big name running back, but just somebody that provides some depth.
Yep, I agree.
What you want to be able to do is you want to be able to start 2 receivers, you want to be able to start 2 running backs, and then you want to just go into that flex position and be like, hey, I got a receiver, running back. Which one do I want to play? You want to be able to have that flexibility at that flex position.
Right. I agree.
That was kind of
okay. All right, Lou. Anything else? I'm done with this.
I'm done with that.
Yeah. All right. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Fuck. Legion of Butts. I can't believe I lost to a team called Legion of Butts. Legion of Butts.
You still stay at second.
I know.
You stayed at second in the league.
That's why I'm okay.
And Legion of Butts stayed at 12. Like, there was no movement here. Even though it was a great upset, there was no movement whatsoever.
All right, well, that makes me feel better. I didn't know he stayed at 12. Good. Yeah. You suck. All right, Legion of Butts beats Vigil Morgenstein 135.26 to 105.6. Moving on, we're going to go to Meat Jerk and Beef Boys versus my hilarious name, your team.
Oh, shoot. You had to do that?
Yeah. Well, that's just the way it is on my notes. This is my matchup of the week. Now, where to fucking begin with this matchup, dude?
Jeez,
Josh Allen and Russell Wilson. I love this. I love when quarterbacks on opposite fantasy teams are playing each other in real life, because it's like a mono. It's just a duel. It's like usually the quarterback who does well, it comes out the team does better, and this is what we saw here. Now, granted, Jerv's fucking wide receivers are just I don't know how to describe them. Devontae Adams is the Dalvin Cook of running backs. Like he just
goes off.
He just goes off every single week.
Yeah, unfortunately, we just discovered that Josh Allen actually listens to our podcast, because he had it out for me this week.
Yeah,
he definitely had it out for me this week, exploding for 36 points, after I told him he was on a decline, and that was about it on him. So, yeah, I kind of had to eat myself on that one. Wilson decided to have 4 turnovers on me.
Jesus.
But still managed to score 24 points, which is a great positive to take out of it.
Yeah, after 3 turnovers, and he still scores 24? Oh,
he
4 turnovers.
2 picks and 2 fumbles.
I forgot about the 2 fumbles. Jesus Christ. 4 turnovers, and he still got almost 25 points. I mean, if you think about it, 4 turnovers, that's 8 points. Or no, is the interception's 1, huh? Fumbles 2.
Did you change it?
No, that's the way it is, right? Okay. 8 points. So you got 31.
Interception should be 2.
Yeah, okay. Then you got 8 points. That's what I thought initially. So you got 31 points.
Yeah. So I would have gotten 31 points on that one.
And you would have won.
Gosh dang it. Jeez, Pete. Well, don't put it like that, That's just
No, if you would have had those 8 point, if you had had those 8 points back, you would be at 124.8, and he would be at 124.4.
Good gosh.
It sucks.
So, yeah. So cool. Yeah, Allen definitely had it out for me. I think he's kind of similar with your team as well. I think Allen's going to be the dictating factor, because he's gonna get his points from Adams and Metcalf. And I'm sure the other team's going to kind of retaliate in some sort of way. But I think Allen's going to be the really deciding factor. You've noticed whenever Allen's doing well, his Jerv's team's doing well.
Yeah.
When Allen's kind of slumping, he kind of had suffered some losses a little bit. So I think that's how far his team goes, as far as he goes.
Yep. I don't know. Yeah, because you like you said, you're exactly right. His receivers are gonna be there, week in, week out. The rest of his team's just kind of average, I think. I think his care. I mean, I'll say it. I'll say it. I think the rest of his team's kind of average. He literally solely runs on his wide receivers and his quarterback. That's it.
Yep.
I don't really. I mean, Moss is okay. I guess. Yeah, it's just, and he had Woods on a bye too, so that he Justin Jackson won't be in that flex position very much.
No.
So again, sorry, but Christian McCaffrey was big back, and now he's gone.
And he's gone.
Gone.
It's literally like that South Park episode. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, here comes McCaffrey. He's got you 31 points, and he's gone.
And he's gone. He is gone again.
Golly, I couldn't believe it. I was so excited. I mean,
Dude,
actually, we had a live, reaction to him getting his first touchdown.
Yeah.
On the Snapchat.
I saw that.
And my sister Anna caught that on video, and that was actually authentic. I did not tell her to video me while I was doing that.
That was genuine. Nice.
She pops up the camera all over the place. It's annoying, but
he's just messing with your emotions at this point. I think McCaffrey just likes fucking with you right now. He's just like, ha ha ha. I was back. I'm gonna get him 32 points, and then I'm gonna go right back into hibernation.
I'm just gonna go right back into that. Gosh dang it! Jeez, I'm piece.
You know what you need to do? Never mind. You have to. He liked your letter just enough to play 1 week. You have to write him like a 3-page love letter. That's when. Then he'll come back for 3 weeks.
All right. Yeah. Next week. Yeah.
Yeah, next week. Connor kind of shit the bed.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I finally get Christian McCaffrey back. He goes off, and then I can't get Connor to do his normal thing. Like, geez, and Pete, it was the Dallas Cowboys.
The fucking Cowboys.
The Cowboys. Like, come on, man. You got.
But again, Pittsburgh, they play down to their competition. It's a coaching thing. I mean, they've done that. I love Mike Tomlin. Don't get me wrong. He's one of my favorite coaches to watch, post-game press conferences. I like his demeanor on the sideline. I think he kind of looks like Will.I.am a little bit, which, makes me want to sing Black Eyed Peas. But like they just constantly play down to their competition. Like the Cowboys suck. The Cowboys are terrible. Come on.
Yeah, they are terrible, but they do have talent. I mean, they were playing at a high level.
Because of Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott. I mean, that's just but you're right. They are playing down to their competition, and and then also I think at a certain point too, the undefeated part kind of gets to teams a little bit.
Yeah.
I know that was one thing.
That's why the Chiefs getting that monkey off their back early was good.
Yeah. So you learn a lot from a loss, and just because you lose, I mean, a lot of times it's not the end of the world, and you see like a lot of good teams, they'll lose and then they get things going, and it's just like that's when they're unstoppable.
Right.
They figured out what happened, what went wrong. Is when you win, you don't really focus on the wrong things as much that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So you just continue doing them.
Right.
I know that was one thing that whenever the Patriots went undefeated, they kind of ran into that issue. So.
Yep.
But yeah,
I agree.
I think the other notes that I have, meat jerkin beef boys got wide receiver galore again. I think he can. Actually, I'll do that. I'll save that for the advice. Andrews is not the answer for me.
So no, I literally was just about to talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. Just not playing at the level that he played last year, and actually, Duke Boyle's kind of taken over a little bit.
Yeah. The only other note I had was the Bills figure out how to beat the Seahawks. You just do nothing but throw the ball. So I think other teams playing the Seahawks are gonna start adapting that. So start any and everyone on offense against the Seahawks defense.
Yep.
Like they're just going to throw the ball now because the Bills exploited. I mean, they knew the pass defense was terrible, but all the Bills did was throw the ball. That's it, and it worked.
Yep.
Josh Allen went off. Okay, give Jerv your advice. I don't know. I guess you didn't give yourself advice like I did. I'm a little more
Yeah, I
egotistical
didn't.
than
I didn't
you
give
are.
myself advice. I thought that was going to be weird, but you went with it. So.
Oh yeah, it's totally weird, but
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
weird.
my advice. I kind of have like a two-part on this one. I've said it before. I think Moss is the move, and especially if you don't have as much running backs as you. Well, Mike Davis will be a play next week, but because Christian McCaffrey be out. But I think Moss is a good move here on out. He should. I mean, he got a rushing touchdown. He seems to be the goal line guy, and he's also getting some receiving yards as well. So that's always going to play big dividends with a running back. But I think he's got enough room to trade for a good running back. And honestly, if you really wanted a good one, he could trade either Adams or Metcalf, which we know Adams is not going to be off his board.
No.
But I think he could still get a solid running back with Robert Woods. I think Robert Woods has a lot of value, and I think you can get yourself a good running back, and you can trade that, still have your two top wide receivers, and then you just kind of pick up somebody from there as far as another wide receiver goes. But
yeah, Devontae Adams to Jerv is Leonard Fournette to me. It's just never going to leave his team, and he will draft him every single year.
Yeah, but Adams kind of puts a little bit more points.
Fuck off. Chill out. Okay. Do you have any more advice?
No. Meet Jerky and Beef Boys propped it up to first place on that. Congratulations.
Yeah. Are you salty?
Yeah, I'm still a little salty about this match.
All right. My advice, real quick, because we need to move through these. Joe, my advice for you was start finding a new tight end. It's time to move on from Andrews. I know we touched on this earlier, but yeah, Andrews is done. He was fun there for a couple of weeks, but now it's time to move on. It's like that girl, you meet, y'all have sex, and then you have sex a couple more times, and now it's just weird. It's now she's the one that's going to be asking, "What are we?" That's what Andrews is literally popping that question to you. Yeah, he just asked, "What are we?" and you have no idea how to respond. You are just that's when you gotta just you gotta call it quits, man.
Yeah,
that it might have been good sex there for a couple of weeks, but now you just gotta move.
But now it's lousy.
Yeah, now it's lousy. Move on. She wants a relationship. Go. Anyways, so my advice for Jerv, again, what we touched on earlier. Start finding a way to incorporate Moss in your lineup. That or trade him, because you don't want to trade him because your running backs are thin. Like you said, he is the goal line option, and I read that in multiple places. Moss is the goal line option for the Bills. So yeah, I like him. I think the Bills moving forward are going to be good. When's Chris Carson coming back?
He's questionable right now this week. So I mean that's gonna diminish DJ Dallas's value tremendously.
Yeah. So that's.
I'm actually surprised at how he's played so far. But it's not gonna last. And honestly, it's not gonna last whenever Carlos Hyde comes back.
True. All right. So that was it. We got Meat Jerk and Beef Boys beat My Hilarious Name 124.4 to 116.8. Matchup of the week there. Really great. Moving on to Stidham's daddy. Well, no, it's not Stidham's daddy anymore. It is
Luke's daddy.
Luke's daddy. Aw, that's cute. This wasn't even close. This was like the biggest blowout of the week. Granted, I mean, Jesus, Dalvin Cook, dude.
He's a one-man wonder. He's a one-man wonder featuring Young Hoku. It's like literally, if that was a concert, it would just be like one-man wonder featuring Young Hoku. Young Hoku.
It's insane. Like I mean, if you look at his team actually it didn't do too bad, but like
Well, Cam Newton kind of made it shine a little bit better with his performance, but
Yeah. What is that? Oh, Burrow was on a bye. Yeah, I don't know. And then like here's the thing: Tyler Lockett and DeAndre Hopkins are nasty. They're both disgustingly good. Um, if his Mike Williams the same way, if his team's just firing on all cylinders, he's a good team. He's like I know we like to make fun of him and say he's a one man wrecking crew, but like it's not bad. It's really not bad. He's got a great team.
yeah, he does. It's not. It could really go off. It's just
And he's right there in that sweet spot of 4-5, and the teams that are like 4-5, 5-5, or 5-4, right there in that sweet spot. Him and Matt. That's like, I mean, you win one game and you could be one game out of first place. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. No, they definitely in a good spot. Dalvin Cook's been going off. Honestly, the quiet one that's been really doing well, which that Bobby's all over because being a Lions fan, which I don't know how many people of those still exist.
but not very many.
But he would know that Hawkinson has been quietly averaging just under 12 points in the last 3 weeks.
You're right.
And as a tight end, that's actually very huge. I mean, honestly,
It's just like over 12 points. Nice.
Yeah, just he's just it's not something everybody's talking about right now. But I mean, especially like the way how the tight end market is just so depleted right now. I mean, that makes him the number two tight end right behind Travis Kelce, sitting at like 15 points, which so that's that's a pretty big disparity. But
dude, he's averaging almost double digits the last 5 weeks.
Yeah. So it's a big thing for him. That's kind of been helping him go forward. He does have like a lot of people, a lot of talent on this team. Like you said, Lockett's there, but Lockett's going to be a hit or miss type of thing. He should be a hit most weeks, but he's going to be a hit or miss, like he kind of did right now.
But he's got Nuke, Burrow, Kenyon Drake. Like his team is poised to make a run.
Yeah, I don't know about Kenyon Drake though. I think Edmonds is taking control of that backfield.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
Edmonds. I mean, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be either a split backfield at this point or Edmonds. So.
I don't know about that, man. We'll see. That because he's still getting a decent workload.
But I just don't see the production there, except for that 1 week he went off for 28 points.
Well, before the bye, he had like 14 carries and a couple of receptions. So, all right, going to Matt's team. I still love Herbert. Herbert's tearing up. Why the fuck is Kirk on your bench, dude?
Mm-hmm.
I've told him that multiple times. Like he clearly doesn't listen to me.
He doesn't listen.
No.
Maybe he doesn't watch the podcast. Maybe he doesn't watch.
Well, maybe he needs to start because I have great advice sometimes.
Is he on Snapchat?
Yeah, he's on Snapchat. He's in the group. Everybody's in the group. He's just one of those guys that looks and doesn't respond.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything. Like,
honestly, we've had this year has been good. Everybody except Matt has responded.
On there. Yeah. I don't know if he exists.
We don't know if his existence is real just yet. We got to figure that out because anybody checking on Matt lately, I think he might have we might have lost him.
I lost him.
So here's the thing with Herbert. The Chargers, I saw this, or I heard this stat. Since 2015, the Chargers have lost 39 games by one score or less. 39 by one score or less. They have found a way to lose 39 fucking games by close margins.
Yep. Actually, I really like that meme that showed like only the Chargers can find a way to lose after this or with this score. And it was like they were winning. Remember that last touchdown? They posted that last touchdown with, 0 time on the clock in the fourth quarter. And they were winning, before the challenge, and then the meme was like, only the Chargers are going to find a way to lose after this game, and they end up losing. It was so funny.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, go check that
out. Matt, with David Montgomery, it's going to be tough here on out starting anyone from the Bears offense. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. The team, it's like got one of the best defenses, but good Lord, they can't get anything going on offense. Yeah. He got lucky with Eric Ebron too, because Pittsburgh, I mean, he didn't have much of an option to begin with, but Lord, Pittsburgh, you never know who they're going to throw to.
Yeah, no, that was the other thing. Ebron's been quietly having some productive games. He's had over 10 points the last 3 games. So, but yeah, that's a tough thing about Pittsburgh. It's just you don't know who's going to be. They got so many weapons. They just don't know. You don't know who's they're going to throw.
Right. Yeah.
Let's see. My biggest note was I don't know. Like, it's Thomas Days as a number 1 wide receiver is over. Wide receiver 1.
Michael Thomas.
We'll
get to that. That's part of my advice. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have too much on this matchup just because it was such a fucking blowout, and Bobby is just on a tear right now. He's so good. His team's so fucking good right now. Yeah. I think Matt can have a bounce back though. Do you have anything else on this?
I think I'm good.
All right. My advice for Matt, that's kind of stemming from what you were saying about Thomas. I say continue start Thomas. I think he's going to get even better. I think he's going to be even more back. He seemed like he was having fun. I watched the highlights. He seemed like he was having fun against the Tampa. I think he was going across the middle a lot like he used to be. Breeze was getting him the ball. I think that's going to continue, and it's going to have a snowball effect. I also think he should trade David Montgomery, but it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah. Well, he can kind of do that with my advice a little bit, and I think that's make a move on Kirk, and that's not necessarily just trading him, but I mean you need to either play him or you need to trade him. I mean, just sitting on the bench is not going to do him any good. So I think he's good trade bait material right now. I mean, honestly, he's got a very, very high ceiling with that Arizona offense. So, I mean, he seems to be developing some sort of chemistry. It's not a consistent chemistry, but it's pretty good chemistry with Kyler Murray. So, and I know he was a big playmaker at Texas A&M. He's got the talent to do so. Maybe not the size and stuff, but definitely needs to be on the move. But
yeah, I agree. For me, Bobby, no more Jets players. P. Ryan is done. Just drop him.
Yeah.
No more Jets players. Anyway, you know what? This is advice to everyone in the league. Don't start Jets players. Like, I had Jamison Crowder on my bench, and he's about the only good thing. It's just don't.
Well, I tell you what, if Flacco keeps playing, Perriman might be a play.
Who?
Bernard Perriman.
Oh, Bernard Perriman. Yeah.
He seems to has been developing quite a connection. But
I don't know.
My advice for Stidham's or Luke's daddy, continue just playing that one-man wonder. Just figure out who that one-man wonder is going to be and just keep rolling with him. You know, it's been Dalvin Cook the last 2 weeks. You know what? I'm feeling probably Nuke's going to go off next week. So just
You're right.
Keep him in the lineup and just, roll with your one-man wonder. I really hate when a team just wins because of one player. I mean, granted, he actually had quite a bit of people go off this week, but I'm still salty from last week when they were.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry, it happens, bud.
All right.
You got anything else?
I'm good.
Okay, Luke's daddy beats Dak's ankle 130, the biggest blowout, 137.06 to 81.44. Going on to Swamp Jim versus Falcons Tank. Big's got a win. Big's got a big win.
Big's got a win.
Big's got a big win, man. He's sitting at 4-5, right there in the middle of the pack with everybody. Like, I mean, this was an ugly matchup, but hey, Patty Mahomes, man. When he goes off, he goes off. This one went down to Sunday night because Jesus Christ, James is getting unlucky, man. All he needed was Gronk to have like 2 more catches. Gronk had 1 catch.
One catch. That was
One catch.
Yep. No, that was definitely. I think Swamp's beginner's luck is starting to run out. Now he's getting into the real mix with everybody.
Yeah, it's like welcome to the big boys. Now it's big time. You got to step the fuck up. You can't. Yeah, you can't just rely on Kamara every week to fucking get you points. Yeah, fuck off.
Yep. But yeah, no, the biggest thing with Falcons Tank 21. Whenever they actually start like not caring about football and they actually are like, oh yeah, we're going to start tanking and stuff like that. They, just like the Falcons, they're actually starting to win now. Like I don't know what it is with this opposite mentality that the Falcons.
Biggs must have fired himself.
Yeah, I think he fired himself.
I think Biggs fired himself, and
well, you saw when he went with the name. He went Falcons Tank 21. He started tanking, and then. I don't think they understand what tanking is. Like,
I didn't know.
Not going all the way to the top. It's going to the top of the draft boards, but not going to the top of the league.
They got it backwards. See, when they think tanking, dude, they think they're going to buy a freaking tank and just plow through the entire NFL. That's what they think tanking is. In reality, no, it's the opposite. But I like that. I kind of like that take though, because when you think about it, if someone's tanking. Like I picture this giant like war machine that is just blasting these gigantic shells into like people's throats and buildings and stuff, and then like you're just plowing through everybody. That's what I think tanking should be. I don't like tanking. I don't like you know what? I don't like the new the old definition of tanking. I am all aboard with this new definition of tanking. We got to call tanking. Huh?
Saints are tanking.
Saints are tanking. Saints are tanking big time. And we gotta come up with a new word for tanking. So no tanking.
Okay, so tanking's not tanking anymore.
Tanking is not tanking anymore. We are going to. I'll figure it out. We'll circle back to that.
Are we luking?
Luking. Oh, dude, we're luking. I love it. Luking. Beautiful. Legion of butts. Jesus, how gay. Is he gay? Is he gay? He might be gay.
Do we have a stat on that? Do we know for a fact? Well, let's get a confirmation.
Go. Let's go to the gaydar. Go to the gaydar.
Go to the gaydar.
All right, let's get to the actual matchup. Biggs had some buys. So this was a great win for him because he had some buys that were pretty crucial, I think. Alshon Jeffrey's coming back. I'm not a big fan of Renfro anymore. I think he started hot and now he's just kind of like simmered. Or no, he had a couple of good weeks. He's not really that good.
No, he's a matchup guy. He's gonna be basically whenever they find a good matchup in the slot is when Carr's gonna be able to take advantage of it. So it's gonna be a hotter hit or miss with him. I think
yeah.
So,
another thing, Adam Thielen hasn't looked right since the bye 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
and here's the thing: the Vikings have looked good. Now, granted, that's mostly Dalvin Cook, but throw the ball to Thielen, maybe. Fuck Dalvin Cook, fuck Bobby.
Well, I mean, when Kirk Cousins is only throwing the ball 20 times a game, I mean that's just not a lot of high volume for or a lot of targets going around for everybody. So I mean that was throwing the ball 20 yards. That wasn't the 20 times. That's not even the completion. So there's just not a lot of high volume that he can succeed with at that point. So I mean you're gonna find when they're playing against good defenses that can slow Dalvin Cook down, Thielen's gonna have some value and is gonna be able to be a good play. But until then, it's just gonna be tough until they slow down Dalvin Cook because they're not going to stop giving him the ball.
Yeah. And, you're going to have that one game where the defense is just going to focus all on Dalvin Cook and all the receivers are going to be open. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, they're all going to have just field days. Biggs, KC defense is going to bounce back. Don't panic there. let's see. Alshon Jeffrey's coming back. Yeah, the Ravens receivers are hard to predict. They haven't had like a number one receiver. So like with Marquise Brown, it's tough. It's tough with any Ravens receivers, especially because Lamar Jackson's not playing very well. I mean, he's not playing poorly, but he's not like throwing the ball like left and right.
Yeah, no, that's one thing I'm had a note on here was Marquise Brown, just mediocre, 6.6 points in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, he's actually getting majority of the shares from, or majority of the yards from Lamar Jackson, but again, like the Vikings situation, just not a lot of yard. There's just not a lot of opportunity that's going around.
Right.
So
I think the Ravens will turn around and be that fantasy powerhouse that they were last year.
They will. They just haven't.
They're a good team. They just need to. Lamar Jackson needs to figure out whatever the fuck he's got going on in his head. Okay. I don't have any. We got to kind of hurry through this.
Yeah. The other things I had was he's probably going to be Falcons take 21 is probably going to ride on Mahomes, which is not a bad thing. I mean,
no, that's going to be consistent week in, week out.
He's got 5 weeks with 25 plus or more, and he's only had 1 week with under 20 points. I mean, that's going to be great, going out, throughout the season.
It is nice having that consistency out of your quarterback. It's just like you can guarantee a 25-point game from him every single time. That's always nice.
It was good to see that Biggs ate Hurston for points this week.
Yeah. Yep.
Hayden Hurst comes out with 9.7 this week. Not bad for a tight end. Definitely good. So
yeah, he beat both tight ends for Swamp Jim.
Both tight ends. Yeah, that's going to go to my advice to Swamp Jim, which I'll go right there.
Yeah, let's segue right to that.
There's a waiver wire. Use it. You've had 4 moves all year in the waiver wire. Use the waiver wire. Like, it's there for your, it's there for you.
It's for you. It's a good thing. It's like a pot of gold. You just got to go pick it.
You just got to go pick some people. I mean, I get it. If you want to just do trades, that's fine. Get players around with that as well, but
he hasn't done any of those either. He hasn't done any of those either. If you look year in, year out, most fantasy leagues, the guy who is the most active on the waiver wire / trades is the one who wins. That's just the way it is.
I don't know if that's accurate, but
I totally just made that up. But hey, I was confident, so you believed it, right? Yeah.
It was confident.
Yeah, completely just made that up. But I think it's good. Yeah, that was my advice for James too. It's no more two tight end time. It's just play Gronk. That's it.
Yep.
Maybe trade Baltimore defense because you might be able to get something out of it. Because I would ride New Orleans out now. I'm could be biased. Well, I mean, I am biased, but I think that was the jump start that New Orleans needed. Now I could be getting my hopes up, and then they just completely shit the bed next week against the 49ers. But I think that was the spark they needed. They are going to play like a Super Bowl winning team from here on out. You can get some stuff for Baltimore defense. Baltimore defense is good. So trade Baltimore defense. Biggs, start Antonio Brown. Just do it. Trust me. Tampa's going to bounce back within a vengeance. That's the way Tom Brady's brain works. And he has a love affair with Antonio Brown. I'm pretty sure they bang with Giselle every night.
Strong words there, Josh.
I mean, he's living with them.
I mean, that's true. You don't know what's going on with those celebrities like that. But anyways,
they just love to have a lot of sex. I mean, if I was that good looking too, I'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah. So, okay. Anyways. Yes, and actually, he's actually following your advice because I saw his starting lineup for next week, and it actually does have Antonio Brown in it. The thing I'm going to have is it's going to kind of suck, but don't expect much this week. You're in a good position in the league.
For who?
Biggs.
Okay.
Don't expect much this week because did you see all of his buys that he's got this next week?
Yeah, I was gonna save that for the projections. Yeah, I have him losing to me.
Yeah. You can't. If you squeak out a win, that is fantastic. I would be jumping up and down. But I mean, just
He's
the
not
way
going to.
you got Mahomes out, you got just way too many people that are going to be out this week. I wouldn't expect too much, but you're still in a good position. You've got
He's at 4-5. He's at 4-5, so he's fine.
He's made some great moves. I think his team's good. It's just next week's just going to be a bad. It's just going to be a bad week, unfortunately. Yeah. So, all right. I think that's about it. I think also, what was it? I think you should be in the market for a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I think your wide receivers are mediocre at best. I try to keep Anderson, but I would make a trade. And honestly, I would think making a play for Robert Woods would be the move.
Ooh. That's solid. I like that advice.
Just saying.
That is solid. Yeah, there you go, Biggs. That's the best advice I think we've given all day. I like it because Randall Cobb's kind of inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean he's a wide receiver 3 at best on the Houston Texans.
I know. So yeah, you're right. Do you have anything else on this game?
I think that's about it.
Okay, perfect. Falcons tank 21 beats Swamp Gym 91.18 to 83.94. Moving on to Fuck Yahoo versus Over the Hill. Congratulations, Dave. You got a W. You want to eat it? You want to eat your W like Jameis Winston did? Just hold. Did you see that, Joe?
I saw that.
I thought that that was the greatest thing I've ever seen.
It was so awesome doing it to this other team.
Yeah, I know. It was beautiful. I fucking love Jameis Winston. Like I hated him in college, but like now like that he's a pro, it's just, I think he's one of the funniest people I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, he's hilarious. And he's just enjoying himself. He knows he's just like, look, I'm just trying to take in what I can from this team, and I'm just gonna enjoy the ride.
Yep. So Tom Brady shit the bed. We already discussed that. Fuck Yahoo won behind that Big Ben comeback, baby. Did you see him coming out in the fourth quarter? Big Ben, his body is just one big injury. But yeah, good for him. Now he's on the COVID-19 list, but I don't think he has COVID-19, but he's on the list. I don't know, that whole process still confuses me.
Yeah, it confuses me too.
Dude, Terry McLaurin
is a star in the league.
He is a star in the league. Him. He is so fucking good, man. I
don't understand. Like that's the thing. That's when you're like a good wide receiver is whenever you have terrible quarterbacks and you still perform at a high level. That's just like wow. Like this guy's good.
Like every receiver on the Jacksonville Jaguars for the last 5 years
are actually pretty good wide receivers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just think about Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson is still a consistent producer in the league, and because why he's had terrible quarterbacks,
Jacksonville, now the Bears.
Yeah,
that's how if he just got on a team with it doesn't even have to be a Patrick Mahomes, dude. You can throw him in Cincinnati or in LA Chargers, and I think he would just tear up. He would make one of those little rookie receivers look fantastic. I mean, even better than what they're looking now. Dude, I think aside from maybe tight end, Dave's team looks good. Like we were saying earlier, Dave's team looks pretty good. I think, the tight end position's everybody's kryptonite, but if they're firing on all cylinders, I think Dave's team's decent.
Yep.
I think he can have a good run. Good kudos to starting Jared Jeudy. He finally had a breakout game.
Despite Yahoo trying to just screw Dave over just because of his hatred towards Yahoo, I know he was talking about the Emmanuel Sanders being on the NA list before the game started, and then So despite Yahoo's revenge on Almeida for changing his name and just bashing him, Almeida's not backing down. He's not backing down. He still pulled out with a W on this one. Wide receivers, like you said, wide receivers go off, and then I think I had another pun planned out, but I don't know what it was. It's Burton by Burton. Oh, he was Burton by Burton.
Oh.
I told you I had a lot of puns this time.
I love it. Keep them coming. Also Chubb's back from next week.
I was about to say, and now Chubb's back. Like, watch out, man.
Yeah.
Almeida's got a team. He's got a team, and he just got himself in position. I mean, I know it's still a little bit more towards the bottom of the league, but I mean, 3-6, we're me, you, and Luke are
all
still
there
in position.
All
position
there
for first. Like that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Switching over to Huff. Huff's got a little bit of a problem. I thought he went on a little bit of a baby
Brady Bunch was
run.
no fun. The Brady Bunch was no fun.
No fun. Dude, I think he's – Tanyan's a fraud. He had one good game. Get rid of him. I think
right,
Over the Hill is a fraud.
Tanyan, I have on my notes, Tanyan, LMFAO, like laugh my ass out loud. All right, whatever. Green Bay only has wide receivers. During Rodgers' whole time period, they only have wide receivers. It's not tight ends. There's only been one tight end, which that's Jermichael Finley. Yep. And then you've had Devontae Adams, you've had Randall Cobb, you've had Jordy Nelson, you've had James Jones, you've had Greg Jennings, you've had Donald Driver. They're a wide receivers team. I mean, you don't trust any of the tight ends. Like,
that is true.
No, like it's just do not. I mean, I know Tanyan. He's so much eye candy with that 30-something points there that you just went off. That you just have to eat that. You just have to eat that, accept it, whatever. But there hasn't been a tight end in Green Bay since Jermichael Finley.
It's just like in real life, like with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, except just flip it. Like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Saints, you throw the film out, you never look at it again. With that Tanyan week, you throw that out, you never look at it again. You can't look at, because if you throw that 1 week out and you look at the rest of his season, he's on waivers. He's on waivers. He's not on anybody's starting lineup. He's not on anybody's bench. No. Like, you have to get rid of that. It's like it was just like the biggest tease in the world. Like, you had the sexiest girl just put her tits up, let you get a nice good old smell, just enough to where you just kept coming back for more, and she would just keep
Tanya Saramaro
putting you off. Yeah,
Tanya Saramaro. That is like it. Tanya is Saramaro. That is probably the best description comparison I've ever done in my entire life.
Dude, that's the best.
Is what it is.
That's the best take we've had. Tanya is Saramaro.
Like, she will be the biggest flirt. She will actively come up and flirt with you. Like, Tanya is going to flirt with you. Like, just like, hey, look, I've got that 30 points, you know? Like, I've got that 30 points. You want to start me. You know what? Hey, look, my quarterback, he's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, watch.
That's my quarterback. He's throwing.
He's banging Dana Kirkpatrick. He's going to throw to me like for 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. Yeah. Guess what? You're gonna want to roll with me.
But then you try to go further, you know, and help your lineup, and try to see how far you can go, and that's it, done.
Yeah, it turns into like an entire night of dry humping that cuts up your dick because you're wearing jeans for some reason, and then you're left with just scars and blue balls. That's just it. You're just stuck with blue balls.
Yeah,
it's terrible. Okay. Anyways, that was the best take. I think that was the best take we've ever had on this. Who's Ross Dwelly?
That's tied in for San Fran taken.
Yeah, I gathered that. I think he might be a play, right?
He's yeah. I mean, Garoppolo has shown that he throws to tight ends regardless.
I don't think Kittle's coming back. So.
Yeah. No, I don't think so either. I think Dwelly could be a play, a little bit better than Tanyan.
Yeah. Let's see, what else did I have? I don't know if Indianapolis is good or not. That is like the biggest question mark team. So like their defense sometimes looks like one of the best in the league, and then sometimes they don't. I don't understand. I don't know like what Phil Rivers is doing. He looks like his arm is being held together by skin. I don't think he has any more ligaments in it. He just kind of like does this number. Those old quarterbacks are getting old, and it's showing.
It's getting old. Yeah, we thought they would just be around forever. We got kind of.
I was hoping, man. That draft class with Big Ben, Eli Manning, and Philip Rivers, man, I think it was 2003 or 2004. It was I missed those.
Great draft.
Yeah. Keep starting Pittsburgh defense. I don't
Underrated
really.
player. I've got James Robinson as a most underrated player in this league right now. He's sixth in averaging points at 17, and he's fourth in total points at 136. Like
You know
that's
what?
pretty
You're
crazy.
right. You're right. And we don't talk about him enough.
Do
I don't
not talk
think.
about James
I think
Robinson at all.
I think because he's on Jacksonville, he just gets overlooked.
Yep,
James Robinson is a solid start.
he is a great start. What
Unfortunately,
he's a top eight back in the or top six back in the league.
yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. That's
I
that's I mean that's what we think of. Kamara, McCaffrey, and all those guys. I mean,
yeah.
that's in those numbers. That's so. I mean, props over Hill has made some pretty good moves and stuff, and that's been one of his good moves that he's kind of consistently had all year.
Yeah. All right. Let's go with the advice real quick and then get to our last matchup because it is late. Let's see. I said to Dave, my advice for Dave, start T. Higgins. I don't care if it's at the Steelers, just start him. I think Joe Burrow's going to get him the ball. I think the Bengals are going to shock some people. They might not win, but I think they're going to shock some people. They've been in every single game they've played. So I don't think this is going to change. Start T. Higgins for sure. Huff, Lamar Jackson is the safe start from here on out. You never know what you're going to get from old man Brady. I would start Lamar over Brady here on out. So that's just me. Take it as you will. I don't know. So
Yeah, I think if you get the tight end situation fixed out, fuck Yahoo, Dave. I think you got a real shot at making a run.
he's got one of the better teams in the league for sure.
I mean, if Chubb comes back, I mean, shoot, watch out. I mean, so
Yeah.
just kind of keep playing the cards right, and I mean, Aaron Jones is going to be better than 10 points whenever he starts getting more acclimated back into the offense. I mean, you've got solid plays when Chubb comes back. I mean, that gives Aaron Jones and Nick Chubb gives you a great 1-2 punch, and then you just play off that flex every week. Just who's going to be the matchup.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
Over the Hill, I've liked the moves that Over the Hill's done. He's really kind of got himself into a good competition or a competing aspect. Brady just didn't pan out for you well. So didn't David Moore, but
DJ Moore.
Swift and and then getting having James Robinson. You just got to get a couple more moves. I mean, you're still in the hunt of things.
I kind of went hard on Huff at the beginning of this. It's not that bad. I mean, come on, you put 20 more points onto Tom Brady's score. He's at 102. You get him a decent tight end. DJ Moore isn't going to do that every week, and he's right back up there. I mean, he probably still loses, but I was a little harsh on him. Sorry about that, Huff. Your team's not that bad.
So, all right, what we got next?
Let's see. We had Fuck Yahoo beats Over the Hill 113.74 to 82.06. Last but not least, the matchup I was most excited for that kind of let me down. I was super excited, and this just Kyler Murray just kind of went off. Kyler Murray train, baby. Choo, choo. Let's go.
Murray train. It's an average of 82 rush yards in the last three. Or I think was it at average or a minimum? It was one of the two. I think it's average rush yards in the last 3 weeks. Like, I mean, that's just good, crazy numbers.
That's
Lamar Jackson numbers last year.
Yeah, that's Lamar Jackson numbers. This was a big win for even though Arizona lost, as in an Arizona loss. Murray did that. This was a big win for Chris. This was, again, reverting back to throw the game film out. If you're Justin Luther, throw the game film out. Don't ever look at this. Just pull the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, pull the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just throw the tape out. Don't worry about this game. Move forward. You're still in a great position. I wouldn't worry too much about this matchup.
It was – I mean, my thing was it was like the worst amount of buys that I've seen in
was so bad
so far. I mean,
yes.
I get why. I mean, I would have done the same thing as far as the IRs go, which, I mean, I know that's just a whole nother subject. We've already talked about that. But, I mean, he just had a really bad week as far as absences. I mean, you just like – it's like Dave next week. It's just – you have to just throw it out. You just have to throw it out. It's just like it just sucks. You ain't got much going for you. You just the good thing is with him is he had himself in a great position at 6-2 going into this matchup. So
he could afford. See, Chris needed this one. He's at 5-4. He's sitting pretty. He's sitting really, really good. Because 5-4, as much as there's not really that much of a difference between 5-4 and 4-5, but you would rather be on that side of things, obviously. And it was just a good win against a top fantasy team in this league. So good. Congratulations, Chris. Luther, don't worry about it. Very important buys. Calvin Ridley was hurt.
I think it was, what was it? Hunt, Rhaegar, Mixon, Ridley, Kittle, Gaskin, all out. I mean, that's tough.
And Darius Slayton's so inconsistent. Like this guy, he's got to be the most frustrating fantasy player in the league because you go from 9 targets last week to 1 target this week. Like I feel for Luth. Like, I mean, good start with the Tyler Irvin start. I mean, I nobody saw that coming. Good for you. Have the insight for that. Jonnu Smith finally did something for Chris. Kudos to you for sticking with him. I would have dropped him a long time ago. But
just tight ends in this league, it's tough. So
it's tough.
You just kind of have to play with him because he's a starting tight end. He's an ultra athletic tight end as well. So definitely available to make plays. One thing I had to note for more cowbell, I hate to see the decline that Tannehill has. It's kind of similar to something that Allen was showing earlier this season.
I know, man.
Until that last week. So I don't know if it's time to maybe look into doing a starting QB or doing a two QB system where you play in the guy with a better matchup. But I don't know if Tannehill's
let's save that for the advice. That was something I wanted to talk about a little bit later.
All right. Yeah. I guess more notes I had from I'm Ron Dynasty's team. Juju over Claypool. That's kind of what I said earlier. I mean, you have to start Juju, and it paid off for you. 18.3 points. I mean, really does look. That's just kind of how it's going to have to be. I mean, you have to start the number 1 wide receiver for Pittsburgh, and then it's just everybody else is just kind of a play.
It's tough, but I mean, look, AJ Brown and Brandon Cooks, dude. Chris's team is solid.
Cooking it up.
Yeah,
Cooks have been cooking it up.
Yes, so he's another team with bomb wide receivers. We have like three or four teams with 3 solid, like really good wide receivers on their team. That played really well this week.
Well, you kind of notice there's like two different fantasy owners in this league, and that's somebody because I think some teams are really stack up on those running backs, and then there's some teams that actually are stacking up on the wide receivers as well. So there's different ways you can definitely play fantasy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that is true. There's different styles. I didn't really have much more on this. Did you have anything else?
I think that was about it. Cook's been cooking it up, 17.18 points in the last 4 games. I mean, that's crazy numbers.
That's insane. That's ridiculous.
That's like league leading numbers as far as fantasy goes.
So, besides Devontae Adams.
But yeah.
Okay, my advice for Luther, I would start Derek Carr next week over Ryan Tannehill. I would rather Derek Carr versus the Broncos over Ryan Tannehill versus the Colts. That's just my opinion. I think Derek Carr is going to have.
They're both tough matchups.
Yeah, well, the way the Broncos allowed points to who did they play? Whoever they played, they allowed a lot of points to. I think Derek Carr is gonna, because the Raiders are a decent team. They're actually pretty good, and the Colts are frisky, dude. They can show up and dominate you if they want defensively.
And it's at Las Vegas too. So
yeah, it's in that dome. My advice for Chris, we're gonna start Sanders instead of Lindsey, and then your team is going to be complete. I think Miles Sanders over Philip Lindsay every
Well,
week.
Miles Sanders had a bye.
He did.
He's actually starting Lindsay and Miles Sanders this week.
Okay.
So Lindsay's got a good.
Oh yeah, because
Clyde. It depends on
Clyde
how much Melvin Gordon plays too. So that's going to be kind of tough.
That's yeah. I'd say moving forward, just Sanders and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, like when they don't have buys.
I think my biggest thing with Chris was move either Juju or move Claypool.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
I mean they're both good wide receivers. It's just I don't think you can have them both on the same team. You just gotta what you need.
Yeah, that's true. You're gonna drive yourself fucking. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're gonna drive yourself crazy trying to pick.
He's gonna Chris Nairboss himself.
I was about to say Chris is used to that. That's a classic Chris move.
Yeah, where he's got two good players and just But yeah. All right. And then for more cowbell, yeah, just brush this week off. I think still in a good position. I think maybe try to find a little more consistency in your wide receivers. Well, you'll have Ridley back at some point.
I think he's coming back next week, honestly.
I think Hunt's a trade bait right now.
Oh, good call. Yeah.
I think Hunt's a big trade bait you can definitely use right now because Hunt still has some good value and he still might even be in that starting lineup too.
He played well at the beginning of the season with Chubb in the lineup.
Chubb in the lineup too. So and who knows how good Chubb's going to be coming back as well.
That's true.
But I mean I think you can get some real good value out of Hunt right now and I think he's definitely a risk player right now. So if somebody's looking to take a risk and get themselves a running back,
true,
you can do a good play on that.
That is true. All right, you got anything else?
That's it.
Okay, cool. More cowbell loses to Ron Dynasty's team. 82.12, 1 to 121.52. All right, we'll do the week 10 preview and then we'll get out of here. I went 3-3 last week. I still haven't broke 500.
I went 2-4 last week. It was abysmal.
Yeah, it's not. We're just not good at predicting these matchups. Although, who is good at predicting these matchups? Nobody's going to be good at predicting these matchups. The first one I'm going to go with Vigil Morgenstein versus Falcons Tank 21. I'm going to go with myself. I have some tough matchups, but I'll squeak it out. I think. Yeah, I just don't.
I've got Gio as well. Too many buys for Falcons Tank 20.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's gonna be a Luther week this week for him.
Yep, he's just gonna have to write this. Might have to write now if he can squeak this one out. If he can squeak this out, yeah, that would be insane. Okay, so you got me as well. Yeah. So Meat Jerk and Beef Boys versus Fuck Yahoo. I'm not gonna bet against the wide receivers.
I'm going to go with, we're going with Meat Jerk and Beef Boys as well. Ben might be out. I don't know if he'll be fully in the lineup. Give me
now, that's what I'm saying. I think Dave will keep it close, but I think Meat Jerk and Beef Boys will win.
All right. Yeah, I think I agree with that.
You got that too?
Yep.
Okay. Swamp Jim versus I'm Ron Dynasty's team. This is my early matchup of the week. I think this is going to be better. I think Swamp Jim's going to have a bounce back week.
Same thing.
Yeah, that's
the same exact thing. I think Swamp Jim has a bounce back week. It's a 4 versus a 5 matchup. Very, very close. I mean, they're going to basically switch positions after this week. So, I thought Swamp Jim was going to have a bounce back week. I think Watson's going to counter Kyler Murray, and I think Alvin Kamara kind of comes back a little bit on him.
And Chris has Clyde Edwards-Helaire on bye. Chris, who are you going to start, Claypool or Juju?
That's the question.
So who do you have there? I'm Ron Dynasty's team winning this one.
Oh, did you? I got Swamp Jim with a bounce back.
Okay.
Bounce back.
I see. I'm still gonna ride the Kyler train. I have no reason to bet against Chris's team. I just the Swamp Jim thing making a comeback is just a hunch. So we got Dak's ankle versus my hilarious name.
I've got myself on this one. I need a big win. This is huge for me.
When I was making these notes, I was still very upset that you stole Jimmy Graham from me, so I picked Dak's ankle.
Ah.
But this could end up being one of the matchups of the week. I'm not ruling this out.
I got the match. My matchup of the week is going to be one of the ones coming up.
Okay. I think I know which one.
Well, actually, those two are going to be actually both. Yeah, actually, both of those. One of them's going to be close. One of them's going to be my matchup of the week.
Okay, well, let's go. Oh, more cowbell versus over the hill.
That one's going to be so close. That's going to
Yes.
be a close matchup. I'm really excited to see this one. We've actually got a lot of great games going to be this week, and I think this is another one.
Yep. I think it's going to be really – I think it's going to be low scoring, but it's going to be really close. Yep. Really, really close.
What you have on it?
Who are you going to go?
I got over the hill.
I got more cowbell. Good deal. Dude, I think we got a lot of differences in this one. I like it. Okay, last but not least, Legion of Butts versus Luke's daddy.
Luke's daddy. So this is the matchup we've been waiting for right here.
This is absolutely the matchup we've been waiting for. You got Bobby's on a roll. Luke has big time buys, and Luke's coming off the biggest win of his career. Congratulations, good for you. I provided that for you, Luke. Good for you. But yeah, dude, this is so much fun.
I really just hope this heats up into the Snapchat conversation. I want to see some smack talking between Luke and Bobby.
I do too. Oh man, I can't wait. But I got Luke's daddy.
I had Luke's daddy too. I think he's going to pull it off. He's too hot, but this
way
one's
too hot.
Hell of an upset if Legion of Butts can pull this one off.
Yeah. All right. Well, that wraps everything up. I will. I'll see you guys next week. Again, everyone's still in it. It's super close. We got some great matchups coming up. Set your lineups, trade. I think I'm gonna set the trade deadline later, so that we can have some more trades because I like that trade segment. So,
oh yeah.
Anything else you got?
I'm good.
All right, later, boys.
Later.